It's 3 a.m. and you're scrolling through Instagram, looking at someone's brand new Mercedes, their designer clothes, their luxury vacation in Dubai, and you're thinking, man, they must be loaded. Here's what's going to mess with your head. That person is probably broke. Meanwhile, the guy you saw earlier at the coffee shop in a faded t-shirt driving a 2010 Honda Civic, he might have $2 million sitting in index funds. Here's the psychological pattern nobody talks about. Real wealth whispers while broke screams for attention. I'm going to show you 8 signs someone is secretly wealthy, plus 1 bonus pattern at the end that'll completely change how you look at successful people. My name is Ivan, and I spend way too much time thinking about money, wealth psychology, and why some people who look broke are actually rich, while people who look rich are actually drowning in debt. If you've ever felt pressure to look successful or wondered what real wealth actually looks like in everyday life, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if it changes how you see the people around you. Here's why this matters. We've all been conditioned to associate wealth with visible signals, nice cars, big houses, expensive clothes, exotic vacations, but that's exactly backwards. Those visible signals are usually the clearest indication that someone is not wealthy. Understanding this distinction isn't just interesting, it's critical if you actually want to build wealth yourself. Because the behaviors that create real wealth look nothing like what Instagram tells you success should look like. Sign number 1, they drive old, paid off cars. You see someone pull up in a 2015 Toyota Camry with a dent in the door and your brain automatically categorizes them as struggling financially. Meanwhile, the guy stepping out of that $90,000 BMW with temporary tags, you assume he's killing it. You've got it completely backwards. Warren Buffett, one of the richest humans on the planet, drove the same Cadillac for years. Not because he couldn't afford better, because he understood something most people never will. Your car is not an investment. It's a depreciating liability that loses value the second you drive it off the lot. Here's what's really happening. Broke people see cars as status symbols. They need that validation, that head turn, that nice ride comment from strangers whose opinions mean absolutely nothing. So they lease a car they can't afford, or worse, finance it for 7 years at 8% interest, and then wonder why they're living paycheck to paycheck. Meanwhile, the actual millionaire bought a reliable used car with cash, pocketed the difference, and invested it. Let me show you the math that should wake you up. If you're spending $500 a month on a car payment, that's $6,000 per year. If you drove a paid-off car instead and invested that $500 monthly in an index fund averaging 10% returns, in 10 years you'd have over $77,000. In 20 years, over $380,000. That's the difference between retiring early and working until you're 70. Your car doesn't build wealth, your investments do. Sign number 2, they never seem rushed. They move slowly. Have you ever noticed how broke people are always in a rush? Always stressed? Always running late? Always grinding, always so busy they can't breathe. Meanwhile, the actual millionaire is moving like they've got all the time in the world. Calm, present, never flustered. Here's what's happening that most people completely miss. When you're broke, you don't control your time. Your bills control your time. You're reactive, scrambling, hustling just to survive. But when you're wealthy, you own your calendar. You move with intention, not desperation. The ancient Stoics had this phrase, festina lente, make haste slowly. Benjamin Franklin lived by it. He wasn't rushing around like a maniac. He was strategic, deliberate, focused, and he became one of the wealthiest and most accomplished men in American history. Not by being the busiest, by being the most intentional. Here's the brutal truth. Being busy has become a status symbol for broke people. They wear exhaustion like a badge of honor. I'm so busy. Translation. I have no control over my life. Wealthy people aren't impressed by your busy schedule. They're impressed by your results. And results come from focus, not frenzy. Wealthy people actually schedule white space. They literally block out hours on their calendar with nothing planned. No meetings, no calls, just space to think, to breathe, to strategize. Broke people think that's wasteful. Wealthy people know that's where million-dollar ideas are born. Sign number 3, they actually ask about prices, not to flex. This one's going to hurt some egos. You know that person at dinner who waves their hand dismissively and says, "Don't worry about the price, get whatever you want." They're probably maxing out credit cards in the bathroom. Meanwhile, the actual millionaire at the table is asking the waiter, "What's the best value on the menu?" Here's what blows people's minds. Wealthy people didn't get wealthy by pretending money doesn't matter. They got wealthy by respecting every single dollar like it's a soldier in their wealth army. There's this famous story about John D. Rockefeller, one of the richest men in American history, who once argued with a vendor over a 5-cent overcharge. 5 cents. The man was worth hundreds of millions, but he knew something broke. People don't. It's not about the 5 cents, it's about the principle. That respect for money doesn't disappear when you get wealthy. It intensifies. Here's what broke people do. They confuse frugality with poverty. They think asking about prices makes them look cheap, so they overpay for everything. Never negotiate, never comparison shop, because their ego is more important than their bank account. Meanwhile, wealthy people are on their phones at Best Buy, checking Amazon prices. They're using coupons. They're asking for discounts, not because they're cheap, because they're smart. Sign number 4, they wear the same clothes over and over. Here's something that'll make you uncomfortable. That person you know, who wears basically the same outfit every day, they might be secretly loaded. Meanwhile, your friend with a different designer outfit for every Instagram post, probably broke. Steve Jobs wore the same black turtleneck and jeans every single day. Not because he couldn't afford clothes, the man was worth billions. He did it because he understood something about psychology that most people miss. Every decision you make drains your mental energy. It's called decision fatigue, and wealthy people protect their decision-making power like it's gold. Einstein had 5 identical gray suits. Mark Zuckerberg wears the same gray t-shirt. Obama famously only wore blue or gray suits as president. These aren't broke people trying to save money. These are people who realize their brain power is too valuable to waste on what should I wear today. Here's the trap people fall into. They think variety equals success. New outfit for the party, new shoes for the event, different looks for every occasion because they need people to think they're doing well. So they spend hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands on clothes they'll wear once. Meanwhile, the actual millionaire has 10 versions of the same shirt and couldn't care less what you think about it. Your closet should not be a museum of who you used to be or who you wish you were. It should be a uniform for who you are right now. Simple, functional, repeatable. Broke people spend their energy on appearance. Wealthy people spend their energy on building. Your net worth isn't hanging in your closet, it's sitting in your investment account. Sign number 5, they live in regular neighborhoods. Here's where people's brains explode. You drive through a fancy gated community with $1 million homes, perfectly manicured lawns, luxury cars in every driveway, and you think that's where the rich people live. Wrong. That's where the broke people pretending to be rich live. The actual millionaires? They're in a regular 3-bedroom house in a middle-class neighborhood, and you drive right past them without a second thought. Here's what's happening. There's this phenomenon called house poor. People buy the biggest house they can possibly afford, actually more than they can afford, because they need the address to validate their success. So they're living in an $800,000 house with a $6,000 monthly mortgage, no savings, no investments, eating ramen in their granite countertop kitchen. Meanwhile, the guy down the street in the $250,000 house has $2 million in his portfolio and sleeps like a baby every night. Here's the math that should wake you up. Your housing cost should be a maximum of 25% of your income. That's what wealthy people do, but most people are at 40, 50, sometimes 60% of their income going to a house that's supposed to impress neighbors who don't even like them. You're trading your financial freedom for curb appeal. Let me tell you something I learned from interviewing dozens of millionaires. The question they ask isn't, what's the nicest house I can afford? It's, what's the smallest house I can be comfortable in? Because every dollar not going to mortgage payments is a dollar that can grow into wealth. Sign number 6. They're generous with small things, cheap with big things. This one messes with people's heads more than any other sign. Watch closely. A secretly wealthy person will tip the waitress 30%, buy coffee for the person behind them in line, donate to their friend's GoFundMe without hesitation, and then refuse to buy a $100,000 car. To broke people, this looks insane. You just tipped $50 but you won't upgrade your phone? Yes, because they understand something you don't. Here's the principle. Wealthy people are generous where it impacts real human beings and ruthless where it's just keeping up with appearances. They'll help a single mom with her rent. They'll pay for their nephew's college textbooks. They'll donate to causes they believe in, but buy a luxury SUV to impress neighbors? Absolutely not. That's not about people. That's about ego. Fake wealthy people buy bottle service at the club, throw money around to look big, pick up the tab for everyone to show off, then they can't make rent. It's performance generosity. Real wealthy people will quietly pay someone's medical bill and never mention it, but suggest they buy a designer handbag? Why would I spend $5,000 on a purse? Let me give you a framework that'll change how you spend. Before any purchase, ask yourself, does this help a person or does this help my ego? If it helps a person, a tip, a gift, a donation, be generous. If it's feeding your ego, luxury car, designer clothes, fancy vacation to post, question it hard. Sign number 7, they take boring vacations or no vacation. Here's the one that'll make people absolutely lose their minds. Scroll through Instagram right now. What do you see? Maldives, Dubai, Bali, Paris. Everyone's on some exotic beach or European adventure living their best life. And your brain goes, man, they must be doing really well. Let me tell you something that'll shatter that illusion. Most of those people are financing their vacation on credit cards they can't pay off. They're going into debt for likes. Meanwhile, the actual millionaire is at a state park with their family, camping in a tent, and couldn't be happier. Sam Walton, the guy who built Walmart into an empire, one of the richest men in America, used to take vacations in his old pickup truck. Camping, fishing, nothing fancy, and nothing Instagram worthy. And when people asked why he didn't fly first class to the French Riviera, he'd look at them like they were crazy. Why would I do that when I'm perfectly happy here? Wealthy people vacation for restoration, not performance. They go to family cabins. They visit national parks. They have staycations, not because they can't afford Santorini, but because they don't need external validation from strangers on the internet. They need rest. And you can rest anywhere. Here's the question you need to ask before every trip. Am I traveling to rest or to post? Be honest. If it's to post, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. Real wealth isn't having somewhere exotic to escape to. Real wealth is having nowhere you need to escape from. Would you rather have a photo of yourself in Santorini that gets 500 likes or $50,000 sitting in your retirement account, earning compound interest for the next 30 years? Because that's the trade-off every time. Sign number 8, they obsessively track their net worth, not their income. Broke people brag about their salary. I make 6 figures. Cool. How much of that are you keeping? Wealthy people don't care what they make. They care what they own. They track their net worth monthly, sometimes weekly. They know exactly how much they have in investments, how much debt they're carrying, what their cash flow looks like. Not in a stressed, obsessive way, in a calm, data-driven way. Here's why this matters psychologically. When you focus on income, you're still thinking like an employee, trading time for money, celebrating raises, measuring success by your paycheck. But when you focus on net worth, you start thinking like a capital owner. You realize that a $50,000 raise means nothing if you're spending $55,000 more. You understand that your neighbor making $200,000 but spending $190 is actually poorer than you making $100,000 and investing $30. Wealthy people run their personal finances like a business. They have balance sheets. They calculate their savings rate, not just a dollar amount, but the percentage of income they're keeping. They know their burn rate, how much they need monthly to survive versus thrive. They track investment returns and compare them to benchmarks. This sounds intense, but here's the reality. It takes maybe 30 minutes per month once you set up the system. And that 30 minutes of clarity is worth more than the 10 hours broke people spend scrolling Instagram feeling inadequate about other people's fake wealth. The richest people you'll ever meet look like the most boring, ordinary, forgettable people in the room. And that's exactly their strategy. Stop trying to look rich. Start being rich. Nobody who matters is keeping score of your car, your clothes, or your vacation posts. Your net worth is the only scoreboard that actually counts.